Philadelphia, are you ready?
They said, are you ready?
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome everybody to Brotherly Love Wrestling, live on Facebook. And, well, I guess we're going to talk about TakeOver. And NXT TakeOver, I feel like we could play every show after a TakeOver and just be the same thing because they're always amazing. Always the best wrestling that we've seen and at least turn out one match of the year candidate every time.
Yeah, it's usually Johnny Gargano that puts that together. He is Johnny Takeover for a reason.
Yeah.
And this was no exception.
Mm-mm.
I mean, him and Kushida basically tore down the empty house.
Yeah.
Which is good because nothing fell on anybody, so that's good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think Finn and Don was absolutely incredible. I thought that whole match, I think that was a very well put together. It's showing different facets of Finn Balor.
Yeah. Yeah,
because he was just
as one-sided as you might think.
Yeah, because I thought that too. I saw him as kind of just like, I guess he'd be a hybrid, but he was kind of like, I mean, I put him in the same classification as Rollins, but the way he was able to work with Dunn was absolutely incredible. Like I didn't know he had that well of a technical side behind him, and it made that match for me because I like that style of wrestling. It made it even better. It wasn't just him doing sling blades and foot stomps, and it was methodical.
Yeah,
it wasn't your fast paced match. There was time for it to breathe and develop the story throughout the whole thing. And then obviously at the end, it took a different turn with a completely different story, which is nice because when pay-per-views end with something to look forward to and not just end and hope that they're going to start something else is good. And NXT does that very well. I mean, they did it with Ciampa and Gargano. I could probably just rally off several.
Yeah. It's that lower third moment where the show's about to go off and something happens.
Yeah. And usually it's someone that's debuting to...
Yes.
But this time it was what would you call this? A heel turn? Because he was
always a heel.
He wasn't really ever a face. I mean, they were showing like... And they do clarify there. Like, there is bad guys and good guys. I mean, Adam Cole was always... And that was always their thing when they talked about it. Like, they never... Like, they knew they were becoming cool, but they always wanted to be the bad guys. They always wanted... And they always tried their hardest to not be liked. And I think it was getting harder and harder. And let's face it, they have so many heels on NXT as it is. I mean, they were kind of pushed to baby faces because they were cheered so much that it pushed them to baby faces. But this sets up a feud that was a long time coming, and from their independent history and ROH history is very, very exciting with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. And it kind of I feel like it takes Cole out of the title picture, which I know
it's actually pretty good though.
He's super kicked. I mean, he's still in there, but it kind of keeps him away with Kyle O'Reilly, and they can do their thing. I'm sure they can put on Ciampa, Gargano length of storyline.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, because you said they have that history.
And it won't get... It's like Zayn and Owens.
Yes, exactly.
It would be that thing that could never get old.
Yeah.
And they kind of keep that window open for Edge. Edge might... I
really, really don't think Edge is going to go to NXT.
Why not?
I just think because the bigger story is him and Roman and the belt he never lost and having to give it up, and not only that, you still want him to be a face because you want Roman to be that heel. It's a main event for Mania. It all works. Everything fits into place way too well than Finn versus Edge.
I know, I get it, and this mega comeback kid, babyface, Edge is all fine and good, but Edge's best work is always heel work.
Yeah.
And I feel like Edge, though he doesn't get to make the decision, I don't think fully. I'm sure Vince has final say in whatever the fuck he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would much rather work with the younger talent and help elevate them.
That was the reason he wanted to come back.
Yeah, and help teach the younger generation. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always teaching, especially with the crop that's there now, because no one's been doing it as long as Edge, except for maybe R-Truth. But
oh yeah, that's the thing
and Orton.
Yeah, but I think that's why it all fits together. I think Edge going with Roman, you bring him along even more. You give him a little bit more of the rub.
That's if he.
I'm just saying
That's if he wins.
Well, no. I'm just saying just working with Edge. You know what I mean? Working with a veteran of, wrestling.
So how did they get there? He just picks Roman.
Well, yeah, you pick. Yeah,
aren't they in the? No, Roman's not. No, Roman is in the chamber, right?
No, Roman is not in the chamber.
Everyone else is in the chamber to decide who faces Roman.
Correct.
So wouldn't that be
that night?
Oh, they have to face him that night?
Yeah.
I am so far behind on.
You don't watch SmackDown at all.
No. Not this past week, no. And I didn't catch any. Well, I'm a bad wrestling podcast host. We already know this.
Mm-hmm.
We're keeping up with everything that's going on. No, I did not know that was the stipulation. So whoever wins still has to face him
Roman
that night.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like that because that's like. I mean, unless they're gonna fucking somehow Owens wins and they build him up as this, like, he's done everything. I mean, if he's
still not gonna win,
and if he wins after going all night and wins the chamber, I theoretically think he should beat Roman that night. I mean, you can't keep killing him that many times. I mean, he's Kevin Owens. He's like a good cockroach. He'll never die, but you can't keep. He's put on so many.
I agree, but they're going to do it anyway.
Technically, he won.
Yes, he did win.
He should be the champion.
He didn't get up before 10. He didn't.
No.
Yeah, I know.
They just stopped counting, and he alluded to that on social media, which is pretty funny that he doesn't shy away from, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Owens should win and become the champ, but not to stray away from. I think we took too many steps.
Because we got all the way to WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah, we hit Edge, and then we kind of hit Roman, and then we sidetracked each other, or I sidetracked the show. Either way, NXT. Phenomenal show. I mean, even with no live crowd, a small crowd, I don't know what you want to call that, but it still had that big atmosphere feel.
The big fight. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And from whether it was the Dusty Classic winners, who I like how they did it. I like having Dakota and Raquel go over, and then you have MSK go over as well.
MSK got a monumental welcoming.
Oh, big time.
They came in and they just ran the gauntlet. And are now in line to face the tag team champions, which I think they're going to win because I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to.
They're not.
What is it? Only Lorcan and Birch.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, do people even remember that they're the champions still? I mean, they haven't really been doing much besides.
I didn't until I saw them get out of the car at Takeover.
So, I mean, I think MSK just rides this all the way to the titles, and they kind of refresh that tag division, which has kind of needed it.
Yeah, by far. And I think this is the perfect step. And I think them winning is such a great move for the division and for the titles. And not only that story that they were able to tell with the Grizzled Young Vets and them, of them getting there last year. And now, okay, we didn't get there, we didn't win, so now we're going to get over the hump and you guys are going to have to lose. That whole storyline was perfect. And the match was amazing.
Didn't Blake Christian allegedly get signed by NXT?
Yes.
Allegedly,
yes.
And we already know Alex Zane's there.
Yes.
Oh, if we could get an MSK versus Christian and Zane. Woo!
Yeah. Let's speak that into existence a million times over.
Incredible.
Yes.
And put them two together. I mean, I know they're great on their own, but like we said, they kind of need to refresh that whole tag team division, and
those two would definitely help. Absolutely. So, do you think match of the night was the main event? You think Balor Dunn was the match?
Personally,
yeah,
I liked the flow of the match, and I liked the style that it was in. So for me personally, yes, that was my match of the night.
Yeah, I definitely thought Gargano and Kushida were
Well, yeah, they killed it, but I mean, I'm not gonna like. It's
comparing
oranges to oranges.
I know.
I mean,
they're two amazing matches.
But if I'm going just for my preference alone, I liked Dunn and Balor.
I get it. Yeah, and neither answer's wrong because they're both amazing matches. And one thing we didn't touch on with NXT was before NXT even the very beginning is they have now we know a new signing to NXT.
Oh yeah, Eli Drake.
Yes, or LA Knight. Yeah. So what do you? I was very surprised.
I think he'll fit in.
I think it'd be great.
Fine.
But I don't think he has a long stay at NXT.
No,
I don't. I think it's just.
You think he gets the Rude push?
Because I think what's going to happen is
Rude gets
here's the cameras. This is where you got to look. Let's get it a little repetitive a little bit, and then you need to get up. They need a talker, and on Raw especially. They need a guy like LA Knight.
Let's call him La Knight.
La Knight? Okay.
La Knight.
So they need a guy like La Knight on Monday Night Raw.
I didn't expect you to actually do it. You never do that.
That's why I did it. Because I knew you wouldn't expect it. But on SmackDown, they have a lot of entertaining.
Made me spit out my Pepsi Zero.
But I think he would fit in really nice on Raw. So I'm hoping it's just a small time frame in NXT and he goes up to Monday Night Raw.
I feel like the whole company needs to do something to shake itself up.
I think SmackDown's a really good show. It's a shame you miss it so often.
It's okay. I miss Raw too.
Yeah, but see,
you know what?
Raw has gotten better.
I was more constant with SmackDown, where I had caught it 3 weeks in a row, and I was current. And then we got to the pay-per-view where it was Roman versus KO, and I fell back off, not knowing that I was going to need to pick back up because there's another fucking pay-per-view 2 weeks later. Yes. But, I mean, it's so easy to follow. It's not like there's anything... I mean, I did catch the Cliff Notes on Raw, and what is this I'm hearing about Flair and Lacey Evans?
Lacey Evans is reportedly pregnant, and it's reportedly not. It's not a. It's not fake.
A child?
No, it's not fake. She really is pregnant with her husband.
Okay.
But they had to.
They had
to address it because she won't be able to wrestle.
So they've made it that she's pregnant with Flair's kid?
That's what they're implying. Nothing has been said yet, officially. But
he just can't help himself. He just can't help himself. He just really can't. You can take 3 steps forward, and Vince McMahon will claw and climb to get those fucking 4 steps back.
Yep.
He will. He'll make it happen.
Yeah.
He just can't help himself. It's like, I don't know what it is. It might be early senility or something, or
onset dementia,
or Alzheimer's, where he thinks it's 1998 again. And we can run those, because I'm pretty sure Lawler just stays in that complete state of mindset.
Yeah, well, JR does too.
God. There really needs to be a changing of the guard in mainstream wrestling. There really does.
I agree. But yes, that is what you heard, but apparently it's legitimate. She really is pregnant with her.
That's fine, but don't... So, they just have
to... they're going to use it. Of course they're going to use it.
But she's not going to be there, so what does that have to do with, where are you going to continue this? Was it going to be Charlotte versus Rick for Rick's affection?
I mean, look, you said Charlotte
He's 108.
Charlotte would be one of the best people to do intergender matches with.
She would, because she's a beast.
Yes.
But on the other side of that, shouldn't be a 70-year-old man.
I agree. I agree.
Or her father.
Either one of those two.
That's you and Vince teaming up to fucking drag the company into the gutter.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we can move on from that. But
that might have been the only thing I caught from Raw.
The one pretty cool thing was in the gauntlet match they had on Monday Night Raw.
I saw there was a gauntlet match, and it was what? McIntyre had to run the gauntlet?
Well, he didn't start the match off. Kofi and AJ Styles did.
And these are all the combatants in the Elimination Chamber?
Yes.
And this one's
Miz pulled out.
Okay.
Of the Elimination Chamber. To focus on the briefcase.
He is done.
They shouldn't have. First of all,
they shouldn't have had him in.
They shouldn't have. Yes, they shouldn't have him in anyway. And last Monday, he cut a promo of how he's going to be waiting to cash in and all this. You're in a championship match. You're in the Elimination Chamber for the title, and you're not even speaking about that. Like, they even got the promos wrong. So I'm glad this week they come out, they run back, and they go, no, he is going to pull himself out, but Morrison can go in. Until the New Day came up, and Adam Pearce had Kofi versus The Miz. Whoever wins gets to go in.
That's
so Kofi
fucking
wins.
confusing.
Well, Kofi won.
It sounds too confusing. Why are they overcomplicating it? I hate when wrestling gets overcomplicated. It's a simple formula, really. Stick to it.
Just trying to tell some kind of story to keep Miz in it.
He is going to be forgotten, and he's not going to cash in successfully. They don't know what to do with this briefcase because they don't want to put the title on Miz. And if he's going to cash in, he's going to cash in on McIntyre because they're not going to have him do it on Roman. Yeah, that's why he's never on, or he's on SmackDown sometimes, right?
Yeah, no, you're right, though. It doesn't make sense. They're not going to have him do it.
It doesn't make sense for him to cash in on anybody right now. It doesn't even have him make sense to cash in on Finn.
That would be interesting, though.
It would be interesting because, I mean, at least...
Give him something to do. Take him down there.
Yeah, I mean, Miz would be one of those guys that would help elevate that roster.
Yes. Yeah.
And putting the title on him isn't going to hurt Finn. Well, I mean, it will a little bit because Finn's kind of at, like, he's
at another level.
He's at like, firing on all cylinders right now. So that might hurt him a little bit, but, I mean, Miz, like, who's he going to cash in on? And who cares? Like, who cares that he's got the briefcase?
Yeah, well, the same
reason. He hasn't even. There's been, what, 4 or 5 opportunities to even just show your hand a little bit and bring the briefcase down and pretend to cash in. And when has he done it? Like, once?
Yeah. Yeah, remember when he gave it in and then it was Morrison who gave it to the ref? Mm-hmm. And then he lost. So, yeah. That was that one time.
And still, it was them not knowing what to fucking do with the briefcase.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
Which is where the briefcase came from because they didn't know what to do with it with Otis. And they took it off Otis to give to Miz.
Yeah, but this was always such a guarantee of something cool happening, and they kind of ruined it. Like the cash-ins, you look forward to. They booked themselves
into a corner because you can't
and you don't rightfully do it. You didn't even have a women's because Becky was pregnant and she had to forfeit the title. So you screwed yourself twice.
But you got to add in there 2020. It's as well that feeds into it. You're a little restricted when it comes to roster, when it comes to things like that.
I understand that, but I mean, then bag it.
They don't want to. I mean, as shitty a job as they've been doing, recognizing it, they don't want people to forget about it altogether.
They're not going to forget about it. Do you know how many promo packages they can put together of fucking Rollins swinging the goddamn belt and fucking Ziggler cashing in? People will remember that.
I don't know what to tell you.
Why don't you have answers? Come on, man.
I can't.
Fucking God, you suck at this. Just remember, I'm awesome.
Okay. But wait, I'm the stunt double, so you're awesome. I'm awesome.
Fuck you.
Okay. So
where does that bring us now?
Well, I mean, we were talking about The Miz and the cash-in and all that. So we were talking about the gauntlet match and Miz giving up his spot, blah, blah, blah. Kofi was first with AJ. AJ beat him. McIntyre came out. He beat AJ.
And then he ran.
Hardy all the way to the end.
Well,
Orton came out. Yeah, Orton got counted out.
I did see that.
Which was it was pretty cool. I loved what they're doing with Alexa Bliss. This reborn character.
But when does it get to the point of where it has to go somewhere?
Mania. This is all leading to Mania.
Okay.
You want a slow burn story? It's Orton and Wyatt. And it's going all the way to Mania.
I guess it's interesting to see what he comes back as.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be the coolest part.
It's got to be something crazy, right? Especially for Mania.
Yes. Yeah.
And if they do have somewhat of a crowd by then,
25 to 30,000, they're saying it as of right now.
That's a pretty good amount.
Yeah. It's what the Super Bowl had.
That's a pretty good amount. Whoa. How about this? What if WWE...
I was going to say, I could feel the show turning just as you said, whoa, what about this?
Yeah, because I was thinking about this before. What if WWE does what the Super Bowl and what the NFL did is, and they have fan cardboard cutouts? Mm-hmm. How much do you think they would charge to get, like, because the Phillies did it, and I think it was like $40, $45 to get either yourself or your pet or whatever, whoever you wanted. I think... Oh, fucking the Dodgers.
Yeah, yes.
They put Weekend of Bernie's there, right behind the plate. That was fucking hysterical. How much would Vince fucking just completely?
I would say at least over $75.
He would do it so smart too. Be like, oh, you want to be like hard cam? That's $500. Dude, he would do it, and people would pay it.
Absolutely, because you know who would pay it? The green shirt guy
and the long
guy
hair
with
dude.
the long hair dude, the dude with the Florida
and the Brock Lesnar guy who goes like, he's only famous for doing this. He's literally famous for doing this. And it's like not even like it wasn't even cool looking. He was doing this. Like, how are you famous for that?
But you're right. All that they will pay
you
that
want hard
just to
cam?
get there.
$500. Not to mention it's so far back that you can't fucking see him. No, they would put him like he would.
He would definitely do it.
Kill him.
Absolutely, he would make a killing because there'd be idiots who would pay
for it, and they'd have to pan, and you'd have everyone there. Oh, am I there?
Oh my god, I can't wait to see if that happens.
Yes, but wrestling fans are assholes too. And you know someone, and
well, it would have to be accepted by WWE.
Yeah, but if this sneaks by, you know someone would get a picture of like Benoit or something and try and get him in the crowd.
Yeah, of course. But that's going to be harder to do with this because they have a vetting process, I'm sure. So that's a little difficult. But I mean, I can't wait to see how they're going to do it.
I spent like a cool grand and get the whole cast of Full House up front. Imagine if some rich person was just like, I love 90s sitcoms. I'm just going to put them all scattered about throughout the...
If you win the lottery, you would be that person.
I don't know if I'd be married anymore if I'd spent that much money on... Even if I had it, it's still kind of a solid waste.
Point.
And I don't want to give all my money to Vince McMahon.
No,
I would do something stupid and spend like $1,000 and I'd be like, I'd be like, I want like the first row of hard cam. And just fuck everyone else over.
I can definitely see that. All right, so, since we've been talking about Elimination Chamber and it's this Sunday, I mean, they really made Sheamus look strong to end the night on Monday Night Raw. I said this last week when I was thinking
last night when I was actually watching. I wouldn't mind if Sheamus won.
I agree.
Wouldn't mind if Sheamus became champion. I mean, if you look at the combatants in the chamber, they're all solid fallback guys. They're all like they've all been there before. They're all like you can count on all.
Yeah, they're all former champions.
Yeah, they're all someone that you can rely on. Yeah. Although I don't like that it's not the new crop that's in there.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I agree with that.
It just shows you that they don't trust the rest of the roster because you're putting in the ruthless aggression fucking elimination chamber.
Yeah, basically.
But, I mean, I wouldn't mind if Sheamus won. I think Sheamus has always been good at this. At whatever role he's given, he's been good at.
I
feel like the Raw title needs. I feel like it needs to go through that 2011.
Yeah.
Like, just keep getting like Punk, Cena, Del Rio, Ziggler.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
kind of move around a little bit.
It needs to move around. That title can't sit because it's not interesting enough. It doesn't have strength in storyline. It's kind of all over the place. So when it's all over the place, make it all over the place. Let that title jump around. I mean, how the fuck do we think Cena got to 16 titles? Because of that era.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I think you can do it with McIntyre, but I think you can...
And McIntyre doesn't lose anything. If he gets beat, he's already been beat before. It's not like he's unstoppable. They don't have another Brock Lesnar on their hands.
Yeah.
They don't.
Not as champion, yes. Yeah. Well, and that's why I think it's going to work come Mania. I think you can have Sheamus win the chamber. Now you have Drew turning around to chase.
I don't think it should be Drew that wins it back.
That's where I think it's written in stone.
What?
I think it's Sheamus.
Then there's your
McIntyre
because it's going to change hands again. It's going to be McIntyre beats Sheamus and Miz cashes in. That's going to be.
You think? Oh, McIntyre beats Sheamus.
Yeah,
and Miz cashes in.
So McIntyre will get the Cena treatment where he'll have 3 or 4 titles in a year span.
Because I'm dead set on the WWE wanting Drew to win that title at Mania with fans. They want to give him the fans moment because that's what it's all about. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
I think he's going to get more of the Cena build. Or he'll win it a bunch of times, but he'll also lose a bunch of times, and that's their way of keeping it fresh. Like right now, I can't see anybody beating Roman.
Yes.
I think Roman is, and they keep. I mean, I know it's KO and Roman are kind of entangled, but I feel like they can. And it was Uso before that.
Yes.
I feel like they can kind of insert anybody, and it'll be elevated because Roman is that good right now.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So I don't see that one being, Roman's going to lose it, then Roman's going to get it back.
Yeah, that I see.
Although it could happen. It could easily happen the other way, and KO wins the title and then loses it to Roman at Mania.
I'm good with that. I don't know. I don't know if you can do it, but and not kind of bring Roman Reigns down a peg if he loses.
No, I don't think it brings. I think because then you're getting the reaction that you want. Because now you've elevated. Roman doesn't get hurt by this. Roman doesn't get hurt because he's already technically lost his title. So if KO finally overcomes all the odds and the fucking chamber. Well, here's the one thing I think that they should have done. That referee should have been paid off by Heyman. And he should have been engulfed in this storyline. And he could have been the ref when Owens wins the chamber. Yeah. He's the ref and he has to overcome that and then win it. You don't hurt because
that's attitude era booking. That's what that is.
Roman's cheating to win. He's doing what a good heel is. He's cheating. He's bending and stretching every part of the rule book to win. So KO overcoming all the odds and finally winning just elevates him. It doesn't hurt Roman because Roman's the bad guy.
Yeah,
Roman's supposed to lose. We want him to lose. So
yes.
Him losing doesn't hurt him at all. And then Owens is now he finally fucking did it. He finally overcame all the odds. And now you get your reaction that you want come WrestleMania when Roman wins it back. And he gets those boos like he's supposed to. Like he's been getting, but for the right reason now. Because Owens is so over as the champion and he's going to have a long run. And then, nope, Roman wins it right back. There's your boos. There's your moment. This is how you book it. And I'm good at this part.
You are very good at this. I'll give you that for sure. Well, now that we just basically decided the next 2.5 months of WWE.
It'll never happen that way.
No, it won't.
It'll never happen.
Never do that.
It's the smart way to do it, especially when there's you're in a flux period of wrestling where you can kind of play with things because your numbers aren't skyrocketing and they're not dropping too drastically. You kind of have a constant number, so you kind of play with things. See how this is your time to throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah.
That's just me, though. I don't speak for everybody. I don't know.
So, before we move on to the question that we're going to talk about and the topic.
Look at this fucking guy. Comes on and fucking
Kevin Hernandez?
Yeah. Fucking comes on here. Was it Ron
Voyage?
Ron Voyage.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to say Ron Voyage to you.
Let's talk AEW.
He called us jabronis.
I know he did.
He used.
I didn't say anything. I just wanted you to see that. But how are you feeling about AEW? Because I know you have been steadily declining.
Yes, very much so. It just hasn't piqued my interest. There's just so much going on in wrestling, and it's finally started to pick up on the indies, which I've been hoping for. Mm-hmm. And I got into ROH. Like I watch ROH now every Monday because it's only an hour, and you get a couple matches, and I'm watching on the weekend when it comes on. But I feel like AEW just is, and I know this merger and bringing in New Japan, Impact, AEW, and having all three of them working together, it's exciting. It is, and I'm not going to downplay that. It hasn't piqued my interest. I get it. To people that are fans or big fans of New Japan, Kenta is a big deal, but I just don't get that feeling that.
Well, because the taste you have in your mouth from Kenta is Hideo Itami.
No, not really, because I really didn't follow Hideo Itami too much. I like him more.
He
as
was
Kenta.
Nothing. But that's what I'm saying. He was nothing.
No,
but it was supposed to be bigger.
When he went back to New Japan, it did make me go back and look at his pre-NXT WWE running. A lot of his shit's good. It's just that it wasn't current time watching. I didn't fall in love watching Kenta or really anybody in New Japan for the most part. I mean, I don't like overly fall in love with watching anybody
specifically.
Yeah. I do really, really like Naito. He
Yes.
is probably my favorite, just because I feel like in ring, and he's a great storyteller. I do love. I will go out of my way to watch any of his matches because they're usually really good. But I mean, it just doesn't. I don't know. It's a lot going on with a little bit of time to dedicate, and I mean, it's just, and they intermingle storylines a little bit too much. Like even with Matt Hardy, Matt Hardy's running Private Party, he's going over to Impact,
Hangman.
and now he's running an angle with Hangman. I mean, it just, there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I feel like there's. And it's exciting. I mean, it's high energy. It's exciting. It just hasn't locked me in. I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint why. It just hasn't, got me. And I think some of the segments are just like, oh man, this is, because some of their shit's like WWE segments, and a lot of their entertainment is like, I've seen this before. Like, what is so different about this? Like, I've seen it. I know it's different people, but I've seen it. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not something that's new and refreshing. It's something that new people doing old shit. Like, and I know it's very difficult to come up with new shit in wrestling because everything is a playoff.
everything's always stolen from somewhere.
It's just that when you're stealing, steal the right things. Like, you think you can save an angle and make it this great thing, but there was a reason it failed. It wasn't just because of who did it. It was because it was a shitty idea to begin with.
Well, I think a good example of that is this Shaq and Jade. Like, I literally have.
If this was Shaq, if this was Blue Chips, Orlando Magic, Shaq, I'm in. He was a fucking... I'm not going with 70, 80-pound overweight fucking Shaq who's doing icy hot commercials. What the fuck is he going to do?
Don't forget the General.
And he's going to save Cody some money.
Those are the type things that...
Cody ain't using the General.
It's not...
He ain't paying $20 for fucking car insurance.
It's not really... It doesn't pull me, stuff like that. But there are things that have. I think... And they haven't brought it back since. But the waiting room...
That's how great it was.
The waiting room with Britt Baker, I thought was really good.
They run that on Dark.
But it wasn't. It was on Dynamite.
No, but
you mean...
they
okay.
still run it.
And I don't even watch Dark.
That's because we're doing this.
Yeah. But I mean...
And we don't know how to rewind things,
no,
obviously.
No. But like the thing, I thought... But I'm talking on Dynamite. That should be on Dynamite more. It should be... You need a talk segment. The talk segment is one of those main things in wrestling.
They do their talk segment. It's every week with Tony Schiavone and Sting. And this is from a fucking huge Sting fan.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm allowed to say it.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm really, really just underwhelmed with Sting.
I'm underwhelmed with AEW.
Not with Sting. With the creative direction that Sting is in,
because
it
was said what they were going to do with it, and that's the way it went. So there was no real shock. I mean, this could be a slow build. This could be something that can change or whatnot.
Do you think this tag team match is going to blow everyone out of the water? Do you think
this is a street fight, right?
Yeah, Darby.
I think this is going to be more on the cinematic side. I don't think Sting's doing too much.
Yeah,
I think Sting's there to play his hits. Probably get beat down within the first 5 minutes of it and do very little. And hopefully this will highlight Darby Allin.
That should be the goal.
The main focus should be on him because Sting's really just there. Because once the hair goes and the paint starts to do, you're not looking too good now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just... AEW...
I mean, you remember when he fought Triple H at Mania? God, he looked terrible.
He looked like Jim Carrey in Batman Forever after he got all the stuff sucked out of his head. That's how Sting looked. And I'm glad you got that, so you visually pictured that. I hope everyone watching visually pictured that as well.
All four of you watching, you picked up on that.
Because that's what Sting reminded me of. It looked like Jim Carrey as a Riddler at the end of Batman Forever. He looked horrible.
Yeah. I mean, and he only got older from there, so I mean, it's not going to be you're not getting prime Crow Sting.
Yeah, AEW has surprised me because their entertainment has been more WWE and it's less about the wrestling. And WWE with NXT has been less about the entertainment and more about the wrestling. And if you told me this way back, but two years ago on New Year's Eve,
NXT's always been the wrestling, and they've done like short promos and
Yes.
stuff like that, and kind of.
I agree with that, but never ever would you have thought that AEW, that was going to change the world, was going to be putting on more entertainment style shows. Like, no way. With SCU and the Bucks and the Lucha Brothers and everybody that's there,
Everyone picked up. I mean, everyone. I mean, WWE and AEW basically picked up a shitload of talent, and now there's too much that they have, and not enough time to do it with it.
Yes.
I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, WWE has enough time; they just don't know how to manage it.
yes.
AEW is now strapped with not enough time and too many people to try and build up. Because when you're on TV, and we've said this numerous times, who do people want to see? They want to see the people that they already know.
Yeah.
It's harder to build a star when people are reluctant to let go of the past.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's not really the company's fault. It's all our fault.
yes.
When you get to this point of where you're like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, someone I know from my childhood pops up. Oh, now I'm invested.
Yeah.
And now and it's never been done right to where that person is now elevating the next crop. Not like it was in the past, because that didn't happen in the past either. Hogan didn't put anybody over.
Nope.
They didn't want to put anyone over either. I mean, it's the tale as old as time. Beauty and the Beast. It's like the theme to our show.
So let's do this question before I forget and end the show.
Oh, you want to end the show now? Okay, cool.
So we got a question on Twitter from our buddy Eggy over across the pond, and we haven't talked to him in a while, so we appreciate this question. Go ahead. You want to call him what you always call him?
No.
No?
You said across the pond, and now I'm just thinking, like, how many people actually get that reference of across the pond? Over in England.
Yeah.
Maybe they just thought he was, like, maybe in the town over. Like, has anyone mistaken it as that before? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point.
Okay.
The question.
Tell me the question.
The
What was
question
the question?
was.
It was a fantasy booking.
Yeah. It was basically if you were a cosmic booker, so where you could time travel and pull everybody.
I don't know where the cosmic booker came from. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the term cosmic booker,
Yeah.
but I've never heard that before.
But so
Like, I felt like I was booking in the stars. Like, I was up in the I was in the Milky Way. Like, who the hell? Like, I'm a cosmic booker. I'm gonna get fucking those Mars motherfucking aliens, and they're gonna face Uranus motherfuckers.
how do they know that was the planet you were going to say?
I was gonna go Jupiter, but I feel like Uranus really drives it home.
Drives it home.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm gonna keep going.
Go. Yeah,
So
please do.
to book, you would book the Rock and Wrestling era, a
And this is
match,
one
a card on a pay-per-view. So it'd be the Rock and Wrestling era, the New Generation era, the Attitude era, Ruthless Aggression, and Now. And those are the 5. And I added an extra one.
And each match on the card is that generation.
Yes, you can only pick. And
So it's not intermingling except for
my pre-show match, which is our 6th match, which is one superstar from every era in a fatal 5-way match.
Gotcha.
So that's what we went with, and we both did ours to go back and forth. Can't repeat throughout. You can't pull a Shawn Michaels from Attitude Era and use Shawn Michaels from the
Every
New
fucking
Generation.
era.
Oh yeah, every era. So you can't do that. So use only once. Would you want to go first with your pre-show? Mm-mm. All right, I'll go first with my pre-show. So I booked Macho Man versus Razor Ramon
Okay.
versus Mankind
Okay.
versus John Cena
Okay.
versus Kevin Owens.
Cena on the fucking pre-show?
I did, yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, I did.
Wait, say that one more time. I want to see who hit this pre-show.
Macho Man?
You put Savage on the pre-show?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay.
Razor Ramon,
Okay, I can see Ramon being on there.
Mankind,
Okay, Mankind could probably fit in there.
John Cena,
No way.
and Kevin Owens.
You can't have Savage and fucking Cena on the pre-show.
I can do whatever the fuck I want to do.
It's hurting my head already. All right, my fatal 5-way through the era is Kamala versus Bam Bam Bigelow versus Rikishi versus Umaga versus Bronson Reed. This is just big motherfucking dudes just
There's a lot of man meat.
Yeah, beat the shit out of each other. It's bimble. They're big and nimble.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right.
So I did right. I did good.
I like that.
did good.
I like the theme.
It was good. All right. Who starts off in your... did you do it by year?
I went from rock and wrestling to now.
Okay, that's how I did it too.
Yeah.
What do you got as your
My,
opening match, quote unquote?
Yeah, I don't know how I would place this on the card, but for the first one, I did Hogan versus Flair.
Okay.
Because we never got the match we really wanted. Because that damn WrestleMania match that should have happened and never happened. So I won Hogan versus Flair. Top of their games for both of them. I think it would be great.
I have an obscure one. I got Savage versus JYD.
Really?
Yeah.
That is obscure.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming.
I want to see that's like a completely different.
Yeah.
But I think it would mesh well together.
I agree.
I think
like
Savage can pull a good match out of anybody.
Yeah. I have probably one for the new generation that I don't think that you're going to think I would pick.
Okay.
Because it's a very simple match.
This is my favorite match, I think, of mine.
All right. Well, then why don't you go first?
All right. I got the Rockers.
Okay.
Versus the Hart Foundation, Brett and Neidhart.
Okay.
Versus the Steiner Brothers. Triple threat tag team match. Ooh! Gives me goosebumps just thinking of that shit. That fucking match is incredible. I don't care.
It absolutely is. I picked a singles match. I went very simple, but just two that I would like to see a program with at that era because I didn't get to see it. And that's Bret Hart versus The Undertaker.
Ooh. So you went purple and black Taker.
Yes.
Fuck, Taker didn't even make my card. Oh wait, I can.
You could have fit him in live on the show.
Yeah. Of course. All right, go ahead with your Attitude Era.
My Attitude Era, this one, pure fun, pure fanboy, and might be my favorite one on the card, is a tag team match, and it is HBK and Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H and The Rock.
we have three of the same people in our Attitude Era.
Son of a bitch!
Of course.
Son of a bitch!
But I went with, pure fun. I went with Rock and Sock versus Austin and Triple H.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking more the corporate ministry of H and Rock, and then when Shawn Michaels and Austin were tag champs.
Yeah.
So putting all that together. So that was. I'm surprised we got so close with that one.
Not at all. It's the Attitude Era, and we know who each other's going with. I had to get The Rock in there.
I
didn't want it to just be
Austin.
a singles match.
Yeah.
I had to get Austin in there, and I could have done Rock Austin. I mean, that would have been fine, but he can't leave out Triple H.
Yes, I agree.
And I love Mankind, so.
Ruthless Aggression?
All right, so here's my first gimmick match. Inside the Elimination Chamber
Okay.
is Angle versus Edge versus Booker T versus Cena versus Guerrero versus Lesnar.
Whew, that's a good match.
The Ruthless Aggression, that's kind of where I fell off, but I mean, obviously I've gone back and watched it, and it was just, dude, I don't know how to book that. I had to put them all together.
And this is where I was thinking sort of in the same vein as you.
So you did a ladder match.
So I did a tables, ladders, and chairs match. and because I would see it 1,000 times over, it is the Hardys versus the Dudleys versus Edge and Christian.
That's No, that's Attitude Era.
No, that's still early 2000s. That's Ruthless Aggression.
That's not Ruthless Aggression.
Yes, it is.
Ruthless Aggression started
2002.
No way.
2002 to 2008.
Did you look this up?
Yes. To support my argument, yes.
All right, I guess they could have still in 2002.
Yeah, of course.
I still put that as Attitude Era. Because I was going to do that too, but I didn't want to take over my Attitude. I was going to do them Attitude Era.
Okay. Yeah, no, they were. But
so I had to get Edge in there somewhere.
They all were stars in the Ruthless Aggression era, as well. It's not like they weren't stars.
I guarantee you, our now is completely different. Just give me your first combatant.
It's a triple threat match,
Okay.
and it's Daniel Bryan.
Yep, it's completely different.
Okay.
Because I am a progressive thinker.
Okay.
Go ahead, tell me your match. Daniel Bryan
versus Cesaro versus Seth Rollins.
Oh, that's
a triple threat.
That's a very good match. Is there any stipulations?
No, straight up.
This guy's your main event?
This would be my main event. Would probably be obviously a title
For a
match,
title.
but yeah.
All right.
So go ahead.
My second gimmick is a ladder match. Fatal 4-way ladder match.
Okay.
Becky versus Sasha versus Charlotte versus Bayley.
I'm so glad I switched.
You
I
had
swear
the
to
winner?
God, as of today at lunchtime, I sat.
I feel like that's the new. I feel like that's the new era.
I
feel
sat
like those four
with Kyle, and I told him, I said, I'm leaning towards Sasha versus Asuka versus, oh my God, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair in a title unification match with both women's titles being unified.
That's a good match too.
And that was my first pick, and then I went to Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro with Seth Rollins. I wanted to do the women.
Here was my I guess my backup fatal 5-way for the beginning was going to be Steamboat versus who was in that? So it was going to be Steamboat. No, because I already have Steamboat. Here we go. Steamboat versus Owen versus Attitude Era. Who the fuck was the Attitude Era technician?
I have no idea.
I'm blanking. Who was a good technical wrestler from the Attitude Era? Was there any?
No. I mean, there probably was. I can't think of any right now.
So it would have been them through, and then my Ruthless Aggression. I mean,
pick one. Benoit
or Jericho.
Yeah.
Jericho.
Oh, Jericho's another one I forgot.
So it was going to be all technical wrestlers, and then Daniel Bryan would have been my last one.
Yeah, I like that.
I would love if we did a just cross and had everybody.
We can do another one of these.
I would love to get
for next week.
Owen Hart and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
that would be like my main event.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely see that. So I think that's how we'll wrap the show. If you like these and you want to comment to us,
or show us your own,
or
tell us your own.
Tell us your own. Comment.
Please don't show us.
Comment below or comment on our post. Be sure to like, subscribe, and rate any one of our shows and help us out, please. As well as check out What a Maneuver. We literally today dropped 2 new designs, both for professional wrestlers. They are
not benefiting us at all.
No. All the money we make from these 2 shirts will be going directly to the wrestlers, which are Travis Huckabee, Matt Mikowski for the Midnight Wonder Boy shirts, and Devontae for his trash-talking, mohawking Devontae shirt. So check them out. Whatamaneuver.net, Brotherly Love Wrestling. They're
you
awesome.
can pick up on our